Hey, it's me, AP, aka Mr. Movie Cheer, and welcome back to another video, and welcome back to another movie stack and a chat. And this is where I grab a bunch of movies and have a chat with you about the movies. And today it is a bit of a different one. Today I'm going to be doing a Mission Impossible stack of movies. So I've got a bunch of the Mission Impossible DVDs. I'm going to be going through them, sharing some of my thoughts on them, my feelings about the movies in general. Just overall though, let's just talk about the franchise as a whole. Mission Impossible, big fan of Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise. I don't know why he's kind of like a divisive actor. I think some people like him, some people don't, but I like a lot of Tom Cruise's movies. I think he's a really good actor. I love that he's just like one of these actors who does his own stunts. He's riding motorcycles, doing jumps off cliffs and doing all these crazy stunts. And he's a guy, he's like in his 60s now, he's still doing it. He's an awesome actor. I enjoy a lot of his movies. And the Mission Impossible movies are great. And I think they've just got better as each one goes along as well, which is always good to see in a film franchise, to see that progression with their movie series. So let's have a look at them. Let's have a look at these movies, these Mission Impossible movies, the DVDs I've got here from the shelf behind me. So let's look, first of all, Mission Impossible 1, the very first Mission Impossible movie, or just Mission Impossible, isn't it? First of all, let's just talk about this cover. I love this cover. This is, I mentioned this on a recent podcast, the Mission Impossible, the one for the new movie came out for the Dead Reckoning. And they had a few different variations. I would draw back to this first cover. I love this case cover, and I know there's a few variations of this one, but I love it, just like this silhouette of Tom Cruise side on, and it's like the Mission Impossible, the MIB logo behind him and stuff like that. I think it's just a really classic cover, nothing too special, but I think it's just an iconic one, for me personally anyway. But this movie, it is a great spy movie, like traditional spy movie. It's like, I suppose that the first Mission Impossible is kind of like more, it feels a bit more like a classic James Bond movie in a way, in a lot of the sense. And like I'm talking like more like the older Mission Impossible, the older James Bond movies, like your Roger Moore, your Sean Connery ones. It's got that vibe a bit more, because I think when they go on a bit more, they progress. They seem more like modern spy movie, and they kind of like just make their own. Mission Impossible become their own genre of this spy genre of movies. But this first one has a very classic spy feel to it, especially at the start of the movie. And I think it's a great movie. And it's what I like about Mission Impossible as always, and I'll mention this throughout the video, is the team up aspect. You've got like different people. He's got like his computer guy, he's got someone who's like in the field with him and stuff like that. This is what I've always enjoyed about these Mission Impossible movies. But yeah, the first one is great. Obviously the scene when he's coming down in that room is iconic. Still to this day, it's such a great, memorable scene. And yeah, it's such an enjoyable movie to watch. Mission Impossible 1 really started it all. This is a movie series that spun off from a TV show, which was it like the 70s or 80s, the TV show. I don't think any of the characters have been used, any of the characters' names. I don't know if any of them have been used in the actual movie series, but yeah, Tom Cruise as Ethan Hunt is brilliant. This is the one that kicked it all off. Now we go to Mission Impossible 2. Now, for me, I still think this is a great movie. I think I've got more. I think I just enjoy Mission Impossible 1 more. It's just something about it. Mission Impossible 1 I really enjoy. I'm just going to correct my light here. I think my light's playing off. This is Mission Impossible sometimes playing with these lights. I can see it flickering in my eye and it was bothering me. But yeah, Mission Impossible 2. I think for me, it's one where I probably watched Mission Impossible 1 a lot more over the years, and I enjoy that one more so. But I still think this is a great movie. It's my memories of this. The thing I always think about this Mission Impossible 2 is the more like rockier soundtrack, because I think Hans Zimmer does the score for it, and he does the score in the more recent one, Fallout. Hans Zimmer. I don't know if he's done the score for the first one potentially, but they have like Metallica, Limp Bizkit, tons of like rock artists that feature in this movie, And another noticeable thing for me was, at the time especially, was seeing Tom Cruise with long hair, because in the first movie he has a short haircut, and in this one he's got like long flowing locks, and it was kind of weird to see him. I think at the time, because I wasn't really super aware of Tom Cruise as an actor and a lot of his stuff, I was like, is this the same guy? Is it? And it's like, yeah, it is the same guy. It's like I said, I still think it progresses the movie. I think they do get better. I just think, for me, the first one is just such an iconic movie and there's so many iconic scenes. But I do think they get better and progress these movies. The characters they add into them get better every time, and they just feel different every time. This one's directed as well by John Woo, who he done like Hard Boiled. He's done a load of movies that I can't think of, but I know he's a really talented director. And yeah, it's a good movie, good solid movie, Mission Impossible 2. And I think as well, it just builds upon how good the first one was. The first one was great. It built upon that. Now though, this is where things get even better for me as a Mission Impossible fan. Mission Impossible 3. Now this one. It feels like they took a break between Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible 2 was 2000, and this one was 2006. So it was a fairly lengthy gap. 6 years is a long time, really, for movies. A 6-year gap, and I remember, I didn't watch it, I don't think I watched it at the cinema, but I remember hearing about Mission Impossible 3, how good it was. And I heard, through the grapevine, that it was, the villain was amazing, the story was great, it was really like revitalised this franchise in a way. I don't know if at the time whether Mission Impossible as a franchise, where it was kind of at, like where was it thought of as with movie fans? Did they think of it highly? I suppose 2 movies in, it's not really at this point of being a prestigious franchise as of yet. So Mission Impossible 3 comes out and delivers a massively superb, fantastic, I can't even think of any more words like that, but an amazing movie. You have J.J. Abrams directing this one as well, who is he's known more for his science fiction, doing like Lost, Star Trek, obviously Star Wars Force Awakens. He does this and it is just a superb movie. He adds in some really great cast members here. You've got Simon Pegg, he debuts in this one as well, as like the IT guy. But the villain in this one, Philip Seymour Hoffman, is superb. The late great Philip Seymour Hoffman, he is fantastic. And this is one of the things, like I said, I heard the villain was amazing. And I watched this more recently, and honestly, it doesn't age. It is like, this is a movie now coming up to nearly 20 years old. That is surreal. Makes you feel old, doesn't it? It really does. But his villain was amazing and really deserved all the plaudits he was getting at the time for this. And it's just a great movie. The short hair comes back, the long hair is gone. Michael Giacchino, he does the score for this as well. I think the score is fantastic in this one. Again, not knocking Hans Zimmer's score. I think Giacchino, though, I feel like his Mission Impossible score is better. Something about it, and I think Mission Impossible 3 is probably the best for music, personally. I think that's the way I feel anyway. It does change throughout the movies as well. The music does change vastly. I think in the latter ones, it has changed a lot. But yeah, Mission Impossible 3, such a great movie. I personally think this one will go down as my favourite in the franchise. I think it's going to be. I'm going to show you another one in a second, which I'm going to have a little bit of a think about which one's my favourite. But yeah, Mission Impossible 3, great movie. Let's have a look at another one in this stack now. Mission Impossible. I'm just like thinking of these. Are these? It is this one, isn't it? Yeah. Ghost Protocol. This is now the 4th one in the franchise. The long hair is back. So for me, this one, very memorable moments I think of this one is the desert chase. In this, they have like I'm pretty sure it's in this one. I think it is, because I think it's filmed in like Abu Dhabi. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure it's Abu Dhabi. I might be wrong. It's either that or Dubai. It's either Abu Dhabi or Dubai, basically, in the United Arab Emirates. this is one where he's climbing up you see it on the cover here, he's climbing up a big building. There's a big desert scene. I think, notably though, for me on this one, what I love about it is you've got Simon Pegg is in there again, but he's a more prominent role in this movie. You've also got Jeremy Renner, who's in here, and I think he was touted to kind of like take over the role as like the main guy in the franchise over Tom Cruise at some point. I don't know whether Tom Cruise was maybe contemplating retiring. But if you watch these movies, especially in this one, in Ghost Protocol, Jeremy Renner, Hawkeye, to a lot of people who watch the Marvel movies, he was like really bigged up in this movie, and it has a really like big role in it. And you could see how he could potentially, he could replace Tom Cruise in this franchise at this point. Watching this movie, anyway, I think now I could see Tom Cruise now just doing Mission Impossible into the 80s. And I personally would love to see that as well. I think it would be great to see like Harrison Ford doing Indiana Jones into like 80s. I'd love to see Tom Cruise maybe not doing so many stunts. I think there's going to be a certain point where his body can't kind of do the crazy stunts, but I'm sure he will want to do them. But yeah, I'd love to see Tom Cruise doing it into like his 70s, 80s, definitely. But yeah, Jeremy Renner, I thought he was great in this though. Great casting addition, but I feel like this one is the one where they kind of get the crew. This is like the best crew for me. This movie, I think it's such an epic crew. I think they've got a really good team together. I think the chemistry works really well, and it feels like a bit of a team, like the most team up movie out of the whole franchise of Mission Impossible movies. This one, Ghost Protocol. So talking about my favourite one, I think for me, looking back now and between these two, it's very hard because I think the villain in 3 is great, but I think just the overall team up, it's such a close one. I probably would lean to 3 just slightly more, just for the villainous performance of Philip Seymour Hoffman, but I do like Ghost Protocol a lot. I think it's a great movie. So two solid movies there. Look, I'll change my opinion in another week or something. You always do with movies. Now, let's go to Rogue Nation. Now, not that I don't like this movie. Like I said, I think they all progress really well, but I don't think it's probably my most memorable out of the franchise. You have like the British villain in this one, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember the guy's name who plays the villain, but it's basically the same team from the other movies. I think you've got Rebecca Ving Rhymes. He returns in this one as well. So you have him and Simon Pegg. Jeremy Renner, Rebecca Ferguson, she starts in this movie, and she has obviously been in every movie since this one, and she's a really good addition to this franchise. I think Rebecca Ferguson, I like her. I think she's a really talented actor, and she works well within this team. I think she's the female counterpart to Ethan Hunt in this franchise. But Rogue Nation, like I said, it's still another solid movie. I think what a lot of people will remember with this one is with Tom Cruise doing his big stunts. He likes to do all these stunts himself. This one is notable. You'll see it on the back of the cover here, where he hangs off the side of a plane. So that was something he actually did in real life. He did the stunt, and I think that one in particular is what has kind of prompted him to do like a big stunt in every movie now. It feels like he has to do like a big action scene. He's got to do something, and that one definitely is. It's very cool. I remember them showing that, like the footage, the first like trailer footage of that bit, and you're just like, wow, how much he's got a lot of machismo. He's got guts. You gotta give him that. Don't get me wrong, he's gonna be tied in really, safe and everything, but still, even if they told me you were like really safe and secure, I'd be very reluctant to hang on to the side of a plane to film a movie. That would be my personal point anyway with doing that. But you've got to give him kudos. He's unreal, absolutely unreal. Now we get to the last movie in the stack. I know obviously the new one has just come out, but I don't actually have that on physical as of yet. I'm looking to pick up at some point. But this one, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible Fallout. Very basic cover. Yeah. Very different Mission Impossible movie, this one. Very different indeed. Henry Cavill plays the the villain role in this movie, and I think that Henry Cavill is great. It's you don't have Jeremy Renner in this one. He wasn't in this one. So it was kind of like focused more back onto Tom Cruise. It kind of like less of a team up. Rebecca Ferguson's in it again, but it feels like less of a team up than the other movies. Feels like more Tom Cruise versus Henry Cavill a bit more for me personally. This one, I think what changed this one a lot was Hans Zimmer did the score for this one. And again, I don't know how many he did exactly, but or was it Hans Zimmer? You know what? I always get this confused whether it was. I think it might not have actually been Hans Zimmer. I think it was someone. No, it wasn't Hans Zimmer. So the music was by Lorne Balfe. I don't know who that composer is, I'll be honest with you. But the music sounded very Hans Zimmer-ish, but it sounded very unlike a Mission Impossible movie. The score was very different, but it really worked because it kind of gave it a very different tone, the whole movie, because the music for me felt very prominent and very like movie changing in a way. For this movie, it really changed the tone at times and the feel of it because it didn't have the same sort of vibe as the other movies. And I think it works. It really did give it a different feel to it. And I think it's always good to go for something a bit different in movies. And it was music can be such a big part of movies. Because I'll be honest, some movies I enjoy just for the music, and I really enjoy certain parts of a movie because it delivers on a musical level. The music is such a significant part. And I think, don't get me wrong, it's not like a John Williams score. This one, it's not like Darth Vader theme or anything like that. It's just very subtle, the pieces of music, but the way it's done, it's really works with the tone of this movie. A bit more of a darker edge to this movie. If you like it feels a bit more just a bit edgier, this film, rather than the other ones. Less kind of exciting adventure, more edgy, bit grittier of a Mission Impossible movie. And maybe that's the direction the future ones are going, because I've not even seen Dead Reckoning yet. I still need to watch that one. But solid movie, absolutely solid movie. But yeah, overall, just look at these. These are to think. I think we're, as movie fans, we are very lucky to have this many movies and more of here's a stack of Mission Impossible. I think it's great. I think it is one of my favourite franchises. I mean, there's so many different franchises out there that I enjoy. Mission Impossible, Star Wars, Planet of the Apes, Lord of the Rings. More I'm missing out, but Mission Impossible is a great franchise. You can liken the Fast and the Furious. I think very in modern times, the Fast and the Furious and very released not too far apart really, very comparable. Mission Impossible has had less movies, I believe, than Fast and Furious. But for me, the Fast and Furious movies peaked at Fast 5, and I think they've just kind of they've dipped a bit now. I think they're watchable, but they're not, I mean, they're entertaining, but I don't look and get excited for a Fast and Furious movie. Mission Impossible movies, I feel like still they're progressing, they're getting better. Sure, I've got favourites, like I said, Rogue Nation probably wasn't my favourite one over other ones, but I do feel like you're getting something special with the Mission Impossible franchise, and I feel like it's not like a franchise that is just, going through the rhythm of just doing things, just doing it, putting out a movie for the sake of putting out a movie, going through the motions. I think they're still delivering, and I think they're trying to deliver a good story and something different each time still. So, yeah, great franchise. One I always look forward to seeing. I'm looking forward to seeing the new one. Eventually, I will get around to watching it. There's so much to watch movie-wise. But yeah, that's it anyway. But that's the stack I've been going through today. I thought I'd share my thoughts on a Mission Impossible stack. It was in the Mission Impossible movie, ladies and gents. And what is, thinking about Mission Impossible, they've done different renditions of that intro, the Mission Impossible theme. What is your favourite rendition of the Mission Impossible theme? Also, did you watch the Mission Impossible show, the TV show? Were you a fan of that show? Few questions out there for you, ladies and gents. What is your favourite Mission Impossible movie out of that stack? What do you think of the new movie? What are you looking forward to seeing in the franchise moving forward? Would you like to see Tom Cruise continue it to his 80s, or would you like to see someone else going in, maybe a younger actor stepping into that role as the new lead character of the Mission Impossible franchise. Will we ever get a spin-off of the Mission Impossible series? Would it work? I personally don't think we need a Mission Impossible spin-off. I like it just single movies. It works well. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer, and as always, I will see you next time.